Hello, dear students. With the help of this video, I try to explain you the quality of Shakespearean sonnet. As we know that we are specially considering to the sonnet "Shall I Compare Thee?" As we know, "Shall I Compare Thee" is an example of Shakespearean sonnet with having a specific rhyming scheme A B A B C D C D E F E F and finally the concluding couplet rhyme with G G. We see that Shakespearean sonnets are divided in three quatrains following with a concluding couplet and having a specific rhyming scheme. In the poem "Shall I Compare Thee?", the poet expresses his thoughts to his friend, or we can say that he explains and expresses the beauty of his friend and try to make his beauty immortal while composing this poem. The poet does not feel inclined to compare his friend's beauty to the beauty of a summer's day. He knows very well that the beauty of summer's day is short-lived and it will soon fades away. The beauty of poet's friend is more lovely and captivating than the beauty of a summer's day. The beauty of the flower of May shaken by the rough winds. It is even brighter than the brightness of the sun. The brightness of the sun is often covered by the clouds, but the beauty of the poet's friend cannot be exclaimed. With the help of these two lines, we can understand it. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose the possession of that fair thou owest. The beauty of the most beautiful object of nature and human life are subject to decay and decline, but the beauty of his friend is eternal. It cannot be obscured, dimmed, or reversed by the time or death. The beauty of his friend has permanently been enshrined and immortalized in the poem of poet so long as the song or sonnet of the poet will last. The poet, the beauty of his friend will last. His poem has immortalized the beauty of his friend. So long live this, and this gives life to thee. Uh, we can also explain the whole sonnet as per first quatrain of the poem. The lines begin with "Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date." In this line of Shakespearean sonnet, we see that this sonnet is addressed to his friend, which has known as WH friend. And poet compares the beauty of his friend with the beauty of the summer. He finds that his friend is more mild and lovely in temper than the summer. During the summer, he sees or notices that rough winds shakes the birds and the periods of summer is very short. The poet's friend is neither intemperate nor rough. His beauty and loveliness is permanent and not short lived. Here we can understand a sense of a comparison between poet's friend and summer's day. And overall, we find that poet tried to prove that his friend is much more um, lovely, mild, and more temperful than the summer's day. In the next four lines of the poem, we see that sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair sometimes declines by the chance of nature changing course untrimmed. In this stanza, the poet compares the beauty of his friend with the beauty of a summer's day, and he finds that his friend is more mild and lovely in temper than the summer, and he also finds there is no roughness in him. His beauty is everlasting and not short lived. We while noticed sometime that summer's day sun sometimes is extremely hot and disturbing. It is often covered with the black clouds. There are no such thing in his friend's beauty. It is pleasure giving. It is always clear. Everything beautiful in this world loses its charms by the accident or in course of the time. But the beauty of his friend is eternal. Unlike the beauty of summer, it will not fade. This stanza also tries to prove that his friend, Shakespeare's friend, is more mm, beautiful than summer's day. He be- tried to make a comparison between summer's day and his friend and says that while in summer sometime it is too hot or it can be made extremely disturbing, and sometimes even the sun is covered by black clouds. But as comparing to his friend is always full of pleasure giving experience and is always clear and makes a soothing effect to the poet. The next stanza deals with the kind of a comparison that the poet says that the beauty of summer day and flower of May, and after some time it is not so with his friend's beauty. His beauty will not fade It is immortal, it is permanent, it will neither fade nor decline. It is hence clear that the poet is referring to the intellectual and spiritual beauty of his friend. He says that even death will not be able to lay his friend's beauty. His friend beauty cannot be obscured by time or death. It is also a kind of a comparison which we find in these lines. Overall, we always find that his friend is more soothing, more beautiful, more permanent, or a sense of the immortality find in the lines of the poet. The concluding couplet remarks that one can see the inspired nature of the poem. It is certainty of love that brings with it. Shakespeare confidence in the immortality of his verse through convention with Renaissance poets. It was, in the case, prophetically justified.